It's JD Temple here from the Light of the Darkness. If you're new here, welcome. And please give this video a thumbs up and a like if you would. Appreciate that as well. It's Saturday night, right? Yeah. I haven't done a live on a Saturday night in a while, I don't think. Um, I've got a lot of ritual work that I'm catching up on tonight. I've been so behind, it's been crazy. Kind of like I was talking about before. Um, but Mothra is back from a long hiatus, and I'm really excited that she's back, and it's great to see her. It's always difficult when, we have to travel and things and, be apart from each other, and it's not easy. I don't know why YouTube is doing this, man. Keeps saying that the app is having a problem. So I don't know if it is or not. um, Hopefully it's working. It keeps saying it's not responding, and I just keep pushing wait. So I don't know if this is like a choppy stream or if it's just going to keep doing this. If it does, I'll have to like abandon the stream and start it again. So I don't know if anybody's out there that's willing to tell me what's happening, because I really have no idea, because it just keeps saying that. Yeah, it must be doing something. I'm going to start it again. It's working for you? Okay, cool. Thanks, Space Candy. I appreciate that. Ugh. It keeps doing it. So it's not like choppy or breaking up, because it keeps saying that the app isn't responding. And if it's not causing any issues, then I will just keep pushing wait over and over and over again. Does that sound okay? I may just start it again real quickly, though, just so that I don't have to keep doing this and keep pushing wait, because it's doing it like every 30 seconds. So I'm going to do that, everyone. I'm going to cancel this stream and start a new one. And so if you want to come back in about a minute and 30 seconds, I'll see you then. Sorry, this is just being wonky and I have to close the app. So, or we'll try it. We'll keep trying this one. I think I might have fixed it. Maybe. If the thing pops up again, though. Thank you. Yeah, okay, thanks. I appreciate that. So I just wanted to kind of like catch you up on what's been going on in my life and in magic and things. Be talking about some magic, maybe more like metaphysical type of things based on like relationship types of stuff. I'm going to talk about the ketamine thing too. What's up? What's up? Hey, I want to say hi to everybody here real quickly. Hey, Space Candy, and hey, Huey Newton. I hope you like, oh, the t-shirt. Oh, cool. Yeah, when I get it, I'm going to let you know, and I'll definitely be rocking it, and I'll be plugging it. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. And hey, Brady, what's up, brother? Thank you so much. And Friar Pestle, what's up, Bo? Love you so much, dude, and thank you for being an awesome friend. And what's up, EA? What's up, dude? Good to see you, too. So I want to I'm just going to start off right now by talking about the ketamine treatments. And if anybody is interested in at-home ketamine therapy, I can supply you with a $100 discount coupon code that I will be happy. I'll actually put it in the description of this video later. I've been doing it through Mind Bloom, and I'm doing it for treatment-resistant clinical depression, really like treatment-resistant clinical bipolar depression. I've tried pretty, I probably in the last 10 years tried, I haven't tried any psychiatric medications in a while, but when I was going that route, I tried like 5 different medications, and nothing was helping at all. It was just making everything worse and making me want to like kill myself even more. which is not good. So, of course, we don't want that. I have children. And once you have children, that basically is uh, that is a covenant that you can basically, in my opinion, not break. Once you bring children into the world, then you're kind of obligated to stay here, whether you want to leave or not, no matter how bad things get. You can't do that to them. Like, definitely not them. Not that you could really do it to anybody that loves you, but especially not them. That'll freaking wreck them forever. So never even think about those things, right? Try your best not to. But I was living in a world where that it was all I thought about, and death became my obsession. Death became a thing that I was really seeking and looking forward to because, like, in many ways, and this is going to sound crazy, but it's not crazy, really, to me. This is, these are, these notions, these realizations, and while they can be metaphors, I do also understand deeper aspects of reality a little bit, somewhat, I believe, too, and that anything is possible. And in many ways, like when I had that accident back into, well, almost accident, I wrote about this in the Compendium of Asmodeus. I had a near fatal, which would have been totally fatal car accident in which I went out of body and I, from above, watched my car actually go through another vehicle and then totally just go and correct itself. And I was back in my body, back in the driver's seat. I did see a big spinning wheel in the sky. And it was really crazy, dude, because like there's no way that that was possible. There's no way that I didn't totally slam into two cars going about 60 miles an hour when they were at a dead standstill. And I went into them sideways, but I didn't. I went through them and it happened. How, like, so there's the notion of like, it was like divine protection of some sort. But also, too, there's a thing of like, maybe it was like I jumped timelines. But then again, the one thing that I can't get off my mind the most is the fact that I might be dead, that I may have died at that point in that accident, and that my perception now of what this reality is, the interaction that I have with the people that I love, let's put it like that. The interaction that I have with the people that I love, I feel that while to me it's actually a very physical thing, and I really believe that I'm still alive in the world, from their perspective, they're only communicating with my spirit. And that, like, every time that I see them, that's just them thinking about me. And it's like, I just feel like I'm always just kind of like peeking in on everyone's lives. Like, not that I'm really a part of it in a physical way, it's a spiritual thing. But from my perspective, because I don't already really actually realize that I'm dead, I think it's still real. And like, that is one of the big surprises that that ayahuasca showed me once, that was like, you do know when you die you're going to like see how ass backwards, and how you've had like this big wool pulled over your eyes the whole time, and that like it's going to be like, aha, gotcha. Like, you thought you were alive, didn't you, buddy? Didn't you? You thought that was real, didn't you? All of that. Yeah. No, 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 not at all. And like, once you start like having these types of realizations or idealizations about something like that, it really starts to make you feel like it might be possible. And I know that makes me sound crazy, right? Probably. But like, when you've experienced certain things and you're trying to like put it all together and to like connect all the fucking dots of it, it's really hard to say like what is actually real. Like for me, like you could all just be imagining me in this whole thing right now. And that, like, maybe, just maybe, that's like all this is. And it's crazy to feel that way. Um, the I'm going to go into now back onto the ketamine thing really quickly. Okay, so I've done 2 sessions so far. Okay, so they send you all your medication in the mail. You meet with a clinician. They talk to you. They tell you, like, ask you questions, make sure everything's good. Then you meet with a therapist. And this is like over Zoom. And uh, you have to have someone that's going to sit with you. You take your medication. You go through the journey. After the journey, you hop back on Zoom. You do an integration meeting with your therapist. My first session was unremarkable. Like, nothing happened at all from like a psychedelic standpoint. However, as soon as the session ended, I got extremely emotional and just was bawling, fucking crying my fucking eyes out, and got on the session with the guy and was just like a blubbering mess. And he held space for me so amazingly, like over Zoom. It was like some of the best space holding I've ever experienced, and I really appreciated it. And like, he's going to be my therapist now. I've already met with him a few times, and it's already helping me a lot. And this is something that I've needed for a long time. I highly recommend it to anyone, man. Like, especially if you're a lot of us, dude, a lot of us type of people. If you're like me, anyways, a lot of us, and a lot of us here are the black sheep of the family. We are the scapegoat. Some of us may not really have that many close friends. And even the people that do reach out to try to help us, we won't let them. And we were scared to talk to them, scared to really like let anyone really know what you're thinking or how you're feeling and shit. And so it gets very lonely and very isolating, because like, even though you know you want and need certain things, you won't let anyone give it to you. So you won't get any help, you know? And like, sometimes you just need to talk about things. And, depending on the circumstances, even though like, there's like, I love to talk to people, I'm still scared to like get too vulnerable and too personal with people, even with friends. Like, I'm a weirdo. Like, yes, I have friends, but do I have friends that I talk to like a lot and regularly? No, I don't. And that's my choice. But is it my choice, or is it my fear? You know, it's my fear, of course. It's not that I'm afraid of them. It's an aspect of that I know that I'm not the best friend a lot of times because of my mental, I hate to call it mental illness, because of my heightened, I want to call it heightened spiritual awareness, maybe even. I just have a really hard time. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that I just don't do it. And all right, here's the reason: because I don't like to let people down and upset them. Because like, I am not a consistent guy. Like that, the issues that I suffer with, the challenges that I have, make it hard for me to make meaningful connections that I can consistently maintain and keep up with. Um, there's really like, only one person that, that I talk to about any of my shit. There's one guy that probably knows pretty much everything about me, but I really don't even talk to him that often. He's got his own shit going on in his own life and everything too. And like, um, and it's like, sometimes it's embarrassing to admit your faults and like the shit you've done. Sometimes it's embarrassing to admit the shit that's happened to you, on both ends types of things. And like, and also too, it's like, I've definitely like, growing up in a toxic environment, in a chaotic environment, especially if you're an empath, like most of the people here, most all of you are people that can feel very deeply, very deeply. You can feel other people's emotions. You know what they're thinking. You know how they're feeling. And you even have a special way just through your energy of, I don't want to say manipulating them, but causing change within them on an emotional level, one way or another. Now, there's a lot also that goes with that. Like, not only do you project that energy like crazy, you're also a huge magnet for energy too. So you're going to absorb any bit of chaos, any bit of anxiety, any bit of resentment, any bit of any type of anything, even, like that will cause like major stress within you, that can like actually begin to make you feel sick. And especially too, like if you get two people together that share these same qualities, similar background, come from, really tough upbringings, like people that have been through a lot of trauma, undoubtedly it's going to happen. Those traits, the shit that you've been through, it's going to have an effect on you. It's going to rub off on you. And like, you're going to develop and express and present those same types of toxic actions and ways of being to the people in your life. And it's all a defense mechanism. It's not, it's a defense mechanism that turns into a very aggressive way of handling a situation, in a very extreme way. Because, like, if y'all are anything like me, like highly empathic people, like, once they get pushed to a certain point or have, and, experience certain things that are extreme, our response to those things are also going to be very extreme. And they may not even make sense. And you may not even understand yourself why you do the things that you do. It's all to protect you. It's all to protect that wounded little child that is still in each and every one of us. Like getting back to the ketamine briefly, like, so the ketamine has, the experiences themselves have been like totally lackluster. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this is bullshit, like, this is not what I thought. But it's what happens after. It's truly, truly in the integration in between the journeys that like everything is just unfolding, dude. Like shit that I couldn't fucking see, that I have been doing, and ways I've been acting, ways I've been perceiving shit. Like I'm a person that takes everything fucking personally, very personally. And like, it's, thank you so much, Huey Newton, and thank you, Kathy Vargas. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Gustavo, what's up, brother? What's up, Chameleon? What's up, Christy? So good to see you all. Aw, thank you, EA. Hey, Star Ruby Corsi. Thank you, EA. I appreciate it, man. And, hey, all right, look, yeah, being open and honest is hard. And like, this shit, these kinds of things have had like such a profound effect on my life, to the point to where it has like actually made me into a person that I didn't even knew that I was that. And it's something that I would never ever want to be. Like, really truly realizing certain aspects of who you are is a hard thing, especially like when you've been lying to yourself the whole time and like hiding parts of yourself from yourself. Because like for me, I went through so much traumatic things and I would just pack them away and push them back and pack them back and pack them back and never deal with it. I would just like let it grow inside of me. I was like making these prisons for what would soon turn into powerful entities. Alcohol became a very powerful entity in my life. And why I say an entity is because like here recently, I've been literally talking to it. And to to basically, looking like you're talking to yourself, but I'm actually talking to it. Like it has been trying to lure me back in down that fucking road like crazy lately. Um, like it's only been a few days since I said totally fuck it. I was really cutting back hardcorely before that, but now I am bound and determined, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But like it's something that you actually have to grapple with and talk to and tell it to leave you the fuck alone and to stop. To just stop. Like when it's trying to like influence you, like I was going through these things where I would like going from like moment to moment of being like hardcore, totally fine. And I just spoke it out loud, telling Mothra of like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm gonna do this. And I like have no desire, I'm having no cravings. As soon as I had uttered those fucking words, I could feel it. This crazy swirl came into me, and I could feel it churning in my solar plexus and kind of like seat in. And then all of a sudden, straight to the brain, this overwhelming urge and desire to be like, oh, that feeling is back. You know what time it is, JD. You know what we need. Feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. You'll feel better. You'll feel better. You know it. And like, it like literally, I'm gonna like get biblical for a minute, but like it was one of those moments where I was like, get behind me, Satan, type of thing. And like that's actually how I had to kind of get with it, like motherfucker, get the fuck back because that ain't happening. Like I'm not going and buying any beer. That's not gonna fucking happen. I'm gonna get through this moment and I want to be okay in a little bit, you know? Yeah. Have some coffee, have some tea. So the one thing that I will say for about ketamine so far, because like I know I'm probably going to be going in and out of things. I am a little I am a little extra right now in certain ways, and I'm definitely thinking differently, which is good, which is good. It's just not a clarity that I have been accustomed to in a very long time, and so it's overwhelming as fuck to like not only begin to have to like feel and release all of this trauma and different things from the past, but also dealing with who and what I've become at the same time, looking back at how it happened and also the things that I did to contribute to where I'm at now in certain places. Like it really has a way of kind of throwing it all at you at once and really showing you like take a look, take a look, like take a look and see, JD, like seriously. And like once you begin this journey, there's no going back or closing your eyes. You're going to be going through it. And while I am feeling better, actually, like my depression is beginning to lift, there's also a somewhat negative side effect that I've experienced through the treatment, through the ketamine treatment, which is insomnia. I haven't been able to eat much. That's probably from anxiety mostly. And then Not drinking much too doesn't help, but or at all anymore now. But it gives you insomnia. And I went like 3 nights, 3 days without sleeping. And like for someone like me, if I don't sleep, I will go into psychosis. And that is not a pleasant place to be for anyone. It's not a safe place to be for anyone. Um, and I'm, being very vigilant about making sure that I can do what I need to do to get some rest. I'm going to be tweaking the time that I take the medication. Instead of doing it at night, I'm going to be doing it early in the morning. You're really only, I would say, out of it for about an hour. And you might feel a little groggy or a little woozy for like another 30 minutes to an hour. But after 2 hours, and really after 4 hours, it's totally out of your system. It leaves me feeling very, very alert. And like, while that is something that I used to really enjoy, something that I used to seek in really bad and unhealthy ways, it's not something that I really enjoy anymore. Um, the first session really brought up a lot of guilt and shame that I had been carrying for, the last 7 or 8 years. Um, Back in 2012, I had started a company and it got huge. I had 30 employees in like 2016. It's very small now, very small. I'm surprised that it still exists, to be honest with you. It shouldn't, but it does. Um, I had 30 people trying to get a piece of me every day, 30 different people that I found out were lying, stealing, cheating, doing anything they could but what they were supposed to be doing on a daily basis. Um, which led me to try this. I was a total wreck, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, burning the wick at both ends like crazy. And I ended up self medicating once again. I've been a person that has self medicated since I was 15 because I really didn't understand what was going on with me. And when I'd find something that would make me feel good, I would stick with it, and that led to a 10-year opiate addiction, which I've successfully kicked long ago. But what did I do once I got right off of that? Jumped right to meth. And that was a 3-year ride in hell. What happened in those 3 years? Well, let's see. Not only did I destroy my family, lose my marriage, um, destroyed the sanctity and the safety of my precious daughter's home, um, just about lost my company, dwindled down to nothing. And like basically, I had just lit a match and watched it all burn and stayed like in psychosis straight up for like 3 years. Like just fueled, crazy, reckless. And it's one thing that's led to another, and more craziness and more craziness and more craziness. And like, the last, 8 years of life have been really amazing in so many ways. Like my spiritual path has opened up like no other. But wow, was I destructive too. And like, wow, did I fuck up? Like, wow, dude. Like, and the ketamine brought that up. And I just, dude, I cried and cried and cried and snotted and choked and for hours literally over it. Like, I feel, like I've never dealt with that yet. I've just been hiding from it, pushing it back, running away from it, trying not to think about it. But like, that's reality. And what's done is done. And I did that. I did all of that. And like, like sometimes, man, like a person like me that is so wide open from like a I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to say a person that is, like, all right, I like to look at it like this, okay? And I'm not saying that I'm a shaman, I'm not. I'm aspiring to be someday, of course, for sure. I have a long way to go. But like, those were the people back in the tribe that had the mental illness, that were crazy, all of these things. But no, it's a lot of straddling both worlds at once and having to learn how to like deal with that and live that every day and actually be a active member of society but still be who you are spiritually and still bring the gifts that you bring, the individual and unique gifts that only you bring. I kind of like to look at it like that, and not that I'm absolutely batshit crazy or that I have mental illness, but like, um, it just like it that combined with a toxic upbringing, which makes me have adapted very toxic traits, can be like a recipe for real craziness and disaster sometimes. And so I'm really committed now and focused on my healing journey. And I know that like I was all about it, man. And I was doing so good, man. Like when I was doing ayahuasca regularly, it was amazing. And like, I know that's really what I need to be going and doing. I wanted to give ketamine a try because I just didn't really want to travel right now. I've been a little afraid to do ayahuasca too. And I just really wanted to give this ketamine a shot. It's just so convenient and it is different. It's different, of course, it's different. But I was just really hoping that this would be healing. I really want to heal that neuroplasticity in my brain so that I can get better. Um, but when you have, it's just like, so I'm committed to healing because I'm committed to living a good and peaceful life. Like, I'm committed to having peace in my life and not always living in chaos. While, like, yes, there are certain aspects of chaos that I do thrive in, not having peace 90% of the time is not good. Like, that has to be a priority in everyone's lives and everyone's relationship, to like to have peace and to like provide that on your part in the best way that you can, so that you can both cultivate an environment of peace together that you can both thrive in safely and feel safe in. I found like when you have like two highly spiritual people that are both empaths too, that have both been through trauma as well, like you've got to hurt people, and hurt people will hurt people, and we will hurt the ones we love the most. And like, if you're, like a lot, I've just, and I've come to the conclusion that like, it's just that kind of dynamic will continue no matter where I go or what I do or who it's with or blah, blah, blah. It's just going to be a same old thing of that, and it's destined to repeat again and again and again until I finally am able to recognize what's happening and be committed to be an active participant in my own recovery, an active participant in my own realizations of like what is right and just, and like that even though like people can hurt you, it doesn't mean that you need to fucking lash back out and hurt them in an emotional way just because they hurt you. Like, especially someone that you deeply care about. Like, that's the tit for tat thing is crazy, and it just hurts. Thanks, Nina. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Christy. Thank you so much. Um, but when you get like, for those of you people that have been in like relationships with other spiritual people, like it's a different thing than being in a relationship with like, and I hate to use the word ordinary person, but like for layman's terms, like ordinary person, and I'm not going to say a muggle because that's just whatever, but you know what I'm saying, a regular person. The dynamic can be very different. And especially if there's still a lot of healing that needs to be done on both sides, that has to be a priority. And it's not something that can really be set to the side for too long. Because if it's sat there for too long, it's going to get forgotten about. And then you end up veering off a really weird and crazy path that you never intended to go down in the first place, especially not with that person, the person that's like the best thing ever. You don't want to do that. Like, no, like focusing on healing and focusing on bringing attention to the things that are leading to certain ways of behavior, even if you don't know what those things are. That's what therapy's for. That's what a lot of these plant medicine teachers are for. That's what a lot of these psychotropic and psychedelic type of treatments are for. And I tell you, they do work if you have a proper set and setting, if you go into it with the right intention, and if you do follow it up with the proper integration. It's amazing. It truly is. Um, the purging that you will do, the things that you can remove, it's so, it just takes such a weight off of you. And that's something that's like, I love black magic, don't get me wrong. And I'm going to continue to do magic. But I'm also going to be focusing on plant medicine and healing a lot more too. Because, like, that's truly where I need to be. Not only for like my own healing, but that's really something that, I've always had a big aspiration to ultimately end up being involved in. And that's been the same thing for Mothra too, for forever. And we share that common passion for that, big time. And that's something that like we both just lost for so long, and like both just got so lost in our own heads, just kind of like checking out of reality and not paying any mind to what was really needed to happen or being important at times. And that, you know, can come across certain ways to certain people. Like I said, a lot of us take things very personally, even though they're not meant to be that way. Like, thank you, Huey Newton. Thanks, James. I really appreciate that. Good to see you too. Um, so that's kind of really, I'm pleased that I have started this ketamine treatment. I'm already feeling better, like I said, but I am dealing with a lot too. And I'm dealing with a lot of other crazy shit in personal life. Like, oh my gosh, like, yes, things do happen in threes. Oh my goodness. And if someone's fucking with me, they probably are. What else is new? But man, I've had some bugaboos pop up lately of just, crap to deal with in life, like uh, broken down cars and, you know, getting stuck on the side of the road and all kinds of just inconvenient bullshit things. And, a lot of it I brought on myself by not uh, being able to attend to it properly, being overextended. And that's something that I really need to work on too, is that like I've been living a life trying to juggle so many fucking things for so long. It's like really tough, and that's why like ultimately, like I have to find a way to truly be able to step into who and what I am, without having to rely on anything else so that I can solely focus on that. And thank you, Friar Pestle, my brother. Thank you so much for that, posting that link. But like not having to worry about my other business and like what all that entails and how stressful that is while I'm like really trying to help other people and be able to take care of myself in, um, at the same time by doing that is really what I want to be doing, and it's really what I need, and it's what myself is demanding of me to figure out a way to make happen. And I know in order for that to make happen, I really just need to simplify my life as much as possible, meaning that like if you don't need it, it doesn't need to be here, like expense wise and whatnot. Like, do I really need that? No. Do I really need that? No. Does that really need to be here? No. And, I've made a lot of bad choices there, trying to like live above my means in many ways, and trying to like grow this and grow that, trying to think ahead, putting money into places here and there to things that, I wasn't really able to invest myself in fully. So it's somewhat of not a great investment. I spread myself thin, in other words, and that's something that in this year, along with my healing, I really want to focus on not spreading myself so thin. Like everyone needs an appropriate amount of time for certain things every day. Your life can't totally revolve around trying to make everything work. Like I definitely know like self-care every day is so important. Taking time out to do something that you enjoy and that's going to be good for you is great, and like I just have to be honest with people, like, hey, it's going to be a few more days. It's going to be a couple, it might be another week before I can do this for you, like I definitely, bite off more than I can chew, and I can't help it sometimes when orders come in, and sometimes, a lot of times, how the universe is. You might not have anything going on, and then all of a sudden, 15 people are coming at you, and you're like, whoa, and it's like, it's hard to put the brakes on. And then so then, like that leads to like feeling overwhelmed because you have like so much going on. But of course, once like Mothra's really been good today. She was reminding me and showing me this uh, perfect circle song called, I think, The Elephant or something, about like eating the elephant one bite at a time and not trying to take everything on all at once head on, because I'm really bad about that too, about just trying to handle everything, and there were times in my life when I was able to do that. But that was really when I was really my craziest too, because all of it was like fueled by something false. It wasn't really me doing it. It was a highly altered version of me that was running on something other than my soul and spirit. Oh, I will. Absolutely. I'll tell her you said hi. We're going to be doing a lot more together soon. We both just went through like major fucking depressions. And it was hard, you know? And I think that things can be misconstrued as meaning something else when they don't mean that, depending on the ways people act or don't act. And like I said, it's very easy to take things very personally when they're not personal, because sometimes it's not personal at all. It's like whatever the other person's going through. Maybe you contributed to it somewhat too, but like, there's things that they had going on, and then the same thing, with you. Then you got your own things going on too. and we can all like get, like, I just saw a great question here that kind of stopped me in my tracks, because this is something that I've struggled with and battled with too. This right here. Hey, Ethan, thank you for that. That's a great question. And say, hi, do you think the depression has something to do with the demons? I've heard that they have a heavy energy. And they do have a heavy energy at times, but like I had depression before I ever started this. Throughout this journey, I think that it's going to be working with these spirits in combination with plant medicine, other types of metaphysical practice, and kind of combining those things together for me, that's ultimately going to lead to the easing of the depression. I can definitely say that I was having it much, much worse when I was going to the Catholic Church. And that's when it really all started really crazy for me. That's when the psychosis kicked in, which I was having that and having depression like that way before I ever got into the meth. The meth just made it a lot worse and exacerbated that whole condition a lot more. And it's actually like through working with them, I can definitely see that there is a refining taking place. Like, even if I'm not able for like a week or two to even sit down with any of them, maybe I've like made some offerings, lit some candles, and kept an altar up. Sometimes I'm not even doing that right, like I really should be, because of the way life gets and the way that I get like, fuck the world and everything else. But they're always like holding space for me, and they can see what I'm going through. And it's like, I know there's like people that do magic like every single day, every single day, every single day. And like, I definitely want to get some sort of every single day type of thing going. However, I also see the benefit of performing rites and then giving time for manifestation. Also, time for integration of the energies that were released, harnessed, and worked with through that ritual, as well as the integration of like the manifestation when that occurs, and like integrating all of that whole experience. So for me, spreading it out is better sometimes, but when you're doing it for other people, you're doing it a lot more often, and then that begins to interfere with your own personal practice when you get really busy, because you don't even really have time for yourself. I'm sure that EA can definitely understand that, and I'm sure he's dealt with that, knows what that's like. That can be a little stressful, but it is what it is. But I'm just saying that like I'm focusing this year, 2024, really of like where I'm placing my time and attention. I have a lot of different places that I need to place my time and attention. So it's vital that I'm healthy so that I can do it, so that I can be present, so that I can show up everywhere that I'm needed to show up and win. So that it's not like an uphill battle all the time, because like, you know, life being an uphill battle gets exhausting after a while. And I'm sure you all can understand that. Um, it's like just through everything that I've like failed to come to terms with or failed to really take a look at deep inside of myself, like it resulted in me becoming a nasty person, in many ways. Like it resulted in me like just being someone that I'm not. And like it's almost like you just begin to become that bad person all the time. And the goodness that was in you before is just like few and far between, but like in a lot of cases, it's like you're oblivious to the toxic things that you're doing. You don't see it that way quite from your perspective because typically you're doing it as a defense mechanism. So it's kind of like justified, I guess, in your own mind, maybe, but is it? I don't know. All I know is that I don't want to operate like that anymore. And there's no need really to be that way, really and truly. Um, things can definitely be worked out and worked with much better between people. Um, in every kind of relationship that you have, from family to friends to romantic and all of that. If you can both just sit down and have an honest conversation, and if you keep the communication lines open and don't allow resentment to creep in and then the communication get bad, and then people start thinking all kinds of crazy things. Like I can conjure up all kinds of insanity in my mind if I'm left to my own, uh, like, let's say, you know, like a relative of mine is just not letting me in and I don't know what they're trying to communicate because they're not communicating, then my mind, I start trying to figure out why, and I actually believe that I do know why. And then like it's sometimes because I'm psychic, I do know, but I'm not always right. I'm not always right, and I can't like live a life assuming that I always know what other people think and that I know how they feel. Like that's not the right way to go into something, right? Like, oh, I already know how you feel. Like, no, have you even really asked them? No, you're just telling them that without even really knowing if that's actually true. It's like you're a crazy person. Like that's just something that you conjured up, to based on past experience, based on trauma, and it's usually going to be something way crazy, way off far and right field of what is actually real and true. And then it just things turn into a real shit show, don't they? Like things will happen that like never even needed to at all. Thank you, Star Ruby Corsi. I really appreciate that. Hell yeah. You're very welcome. Thank you. Um, you know, like I totally realize now through especially, through from all the plant medicine that I've done, but recently most recently the ketamine, just because I hadn't done any really like plant medicine in so long, and had gotten away from it for so long that there were still things that I needed to heal and work on that I kind of like left and abandoned back then that I'm picking up now. And now I'm really, like I said before, having to see who I am, having to deal with who I am, things that I've said, things that I've done, like trying to understand the actual reasons why I reacted this way and not that way, trying to figure out the reasons why I acted so extreme, and felt so uh, just injured over something that maybe I shouldn't even have been taking personal anyway. Like you get to become ultra sensitive, right? And when you're ultra sensitive like that, you do tend to take things very personally. And if you detect an injury there, you're going to want to hit back and hit back hard, regardless of who it is. And like, that's not healthy. It's not sustainable. It's not a way to treat someone that you really love and care about. It's something that has to be addressed, right? And the only person that can address that is you. And you have to take the responsibility to be an active participant in the healing of that, and the unraveling of that, and the undoing of that. You know, there's a lot of things that these spirits have brought me. Lots of things, amazing things. And they are willing to help me with almost anything that I ask them for. But there are certain things that, like, they can open the door for me, but I have to step through the door, and then I have to continue on without them in many cases, just in my own energy, in my own strength, in my own power, having an absolute human experience, unfiltered, without any outside interference at all. That will be the case. You know, it's been the case for me. I'm not saying that they just dump you off and leave you. They know what you need. They know what you need to go through. And sometimes, I don't want to put it in a way like that. Sometimes you just don't need your hand held, I guess. What's up, Behemoth X? I love you too, brother. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that, man. And can't wait to see your next video too. Always, always. Yeah, I agree, Rouse. Rouse, that's when your ultra sensitive pattern recognition goes off the charts. And yeah, dude, I will look so deeply into every little thing, right? And overanalyze the fuck out of it. Try to really figure out, like, what is actually going on here? What's the real meaning behind this and that and the other? And if that's the real meaning, then that must mean that this is the actual truth, and that truth leads to this, and that leads to that. And the next thing you know, you've, like, dug yourself a really nice little tunnel of bullshit. And if you, like, keep feeding that to yourself and begin to believe certain things, then you're going to be presenting in a certain way, presenting in a way that may not be desirable or beneficial to you or anyone else around you. And so, like I said, you know, therapy is something that is a non-negotiable for me. Not drinking is a non-negotiable for me. Like, has to happen. I have to take my spiritual health, mental, physical, magical health into consideration. Like, really needs to be the focal point. And I know if I focus on those things, like, success will come in all areas. You know, you want success at work. You want success in your pursuits. But, like, really and truly, like, the biggest success should be at home, right? Like, with the people that you spend most of your time with and around. Like, that really should be where you want to, like, focus successful outcomes on, and focus a lot of the time and attention on to building and nurturing a proper environment, a stable one where, you know, certain things aren't said and done, you know, they're just not. But it's easy to get there. It's easy to get there. It's easy to lose sight of so many things. And if you, like, let it go on and let it go on and let it go on, it becomes like your culture. It becomes second nature. Just like the toxic habits and the toxic reactions and toxic ways of being that you develop It just becomes a second nature, a defense mechanism, but a weapon nonetheless. It's a weapon, and weapons hurt, you know, like really and truly, the weapons should only be directed at people that really deserve it, right? And your enemies are the only ones that deserve that. And it's crazy, how it's like we'll give the we'll use the weapons against the ones that really don't deserve it, really, right? Like a lot of like the emotional weapons, the verbal weapons. But I know that like it's coming from a place. Hey, Jose Munoz, what's up? Um, it's just I'm focused on finally just overcoming so many things, really wanting to be the person that I am, that's not in a defensive mode all the time of like thinking that I'm going to be hurt or thinking that I'm going to this or that or whatever, so that I'm like always on this edge and like always kind of like reactionary. And like reactionariness, that's not probably a word, but it can be a little nonsensical and ridiculous sometimes. And I get that. Extreme, right? Yeah, I am an extreme guy. But that needs to be for the proper place and time and for the right ways and the right reasons, not just displayed recklessly and for no good reason really at all. And like I think everything boils down to, for me anyway, like I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death to be hurt because I've been hurt a million times. And I'm scared for that to happen again in a million different ways. So, like, what does that look like? You know, trouble on my part in doing what's right and proper to nurture relationships when I'm needing it, but I'm not doing it right because I'm afraid and I'm scared. So I'm not totally opening up probably like the way that I should. And so it happens like with friends too. I'm scared to really get close to anyone and really make friends with them, because then that means I'm going to have to like nurture that relationship and not offend that person by disappearing on them, which I can be famous for. And it's not personal to them at all. It's all about me and me just being afraid. But I know if it was reversed and they did it to me, I would take it personally. Isn't that stupid? And isn't it fucked up? Yeah, it is. So that's why I just avoid them, and like I don't, get too close and let people in because I'm afraid. I am afraid, like I'm afraid to be hurt. And like my type of shit, because of that, if I do get hurt, or not even if I get hurt, if I have perceived that I have been hurt, whether it's true or not, or it's reality or not, in all reality, if I have perceived even an injury, it's kind of just like a automatic mechanism that it's going to get thrown back, and it might come back with a nuke when you just threw a rock at me. And it's kind of like that's not okay either, but that's what happens. So I'm really working on that. And why do I get on here and talk about this shit with you guys? Like, because I feel like I should. Because like, yes, like what this channel is really ultimately about is a lot of different things. It's not just about black magic, obviously. It's not. I put all kinds of different shit on this channel. Shit that I probably shouldn't put on there, really, because a lot of people are coming here not wanting to see anything about the war, not wanting to see anything about, like, you know, my Christmas with whoever, my kids, and, like going to see a thing that has nothing to do with witchcraft and da 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 da. And like most people that do um, focus on what their actual channel is about have a lot more success. And while I do want success, I also just want to put on here what I want to put on here and what makes me happy putting it on here. But what makes me happy is what I feel like will help people, like not just how to do this or this is what happened when I did that or blah, blah, magical wise, but like just what I'm learning about life in general, becoming a man, I'm going to be 44 in April. And I'm still not there yet. I still don't fully know who the fuck I am yet. I'm still been so stuck in between being a child and a man in a man's body, doing things that men do, but having the emotional armor of a 5-year-old. Having the emotional armor of a 5-year-old, but a defense mechanism that's like as powerful as a nuke. So like way unbalanced, right? So like my armor is very thin, but I wield a big ass bat, So like I can be hurt extremely easily, but when I lash back, it's yeah, motherfucker, But like that's not what I want, dude. Like I don't want to be that way. But like it's just who I became over time. Who I became over time by not ever realizing or checking myself or really seeing like, was that the right? And of course, it's like you have arguments, you get into tiffs or fights and things like that with your friends and family and whatever. And like, like, you can like feel bad about it, but never really like actually sit and think about what really happened and how it should have gone and what would be better to do next time. Like that in many cases was never really happening for me. I was just continuing to can do the same thing again and again and again in the same kind of way and just be like, attack, 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 instead of being like, okay, well, like, how can we do this differently? How could I have approached this differently? How could I have reacted to this differently? Am I even responding to this in the appropriate way based on the situation? Like, you know, it's very easy to be like very spontaneous people, fire signs especially. You're very, very spontaneous and very fiery. I've got double fire in my chart, so I'm a pretty crazy dude. Like I am extreme and crazy, and I'm not saying that because it's cool. I'm saying it's because it's like it's a monster that I grapple with to keep tamed. So that like I don't allow that to come to the surface and basically like wear me like a skin suit and walk around. Because like that's what I allow to happen basically. When I don't check myself and keep my shit straight, I allow the spirit of toxicity to wear me like a skin suit, and I just go around spreading it like a disease and you know absorbing it everywhere I go and dishing it out too. And so it just it's a lot. It's hard to handle, but why I'm saying all of this Going through these ketamine treatments, there's a lot of things bubbling up for me here. Like, I'm finally able to see things clearly that I couldn't see, ways that I've been acting, ways that I've been behaving, ways that I've treated people that are not like none of the ways that where I've treated people in a bad way have ever resulted in me actually getting the result that I would hope for or a positive outcome in any kind of way. It just makes everything suck. And it makes the energy of any place horrible. And it makes everyone uncomfortable. And it just grows and grows and grows. It's like in any structure, like you fill your temple with certain energy, you can fill your business and your home with a certain energy too, that you just keep feeding it. It'll keep growing. It'll keep growing. People come in there and they don't even understand it. What is this? The fuck is going on in here? Like, whoa, like people that aren't even spiritual, or let's say people that aren't in active pursuit of spirituality at the moment can still feel these types of energies very, very intensely because they are strong. Remember, those of you magical people, empaths, like, you put off a very powerful energy that other people can feel a lot. And just do your best to protect yourself from absorbing energy in places too, because it will happen. And it will just make a lot of things worse, So it's cultivating a atmosphere of peace and understanding and good communication and fair treatment. Honesty is really what's best, isn't it? It's not always what happens, unfortunately, but that's what's needed. Therapy is really helping me with that a lot too, with the ketamine. What's up, the relaxing weather? You said that you constantly give because you're a generous person. It's a part of you, but you allow people to get too close. And I know I don't want to deal with a situation, and I didn't want to attack my friends. But I realized if I don't attack back, they will just keep taking advantage of me. Yeah, there's those situations like that too. Um, and I think that's why, like, it is important to for everyone involved in any kind of relationship to set appropriate boundaries at first. Some of us don't even know what those things are or even think about what they mean until certain things are happening, and then you're like, whoa, what's going on here, what's going on there. But I'm the same kind of person too, like, really and truly at the core of who I am. Like, yes, like, I will give you the shirt off of my back. I'll help anyone that I fucking can anywhere I see them, and like be very kind and sweet and understanding to them. But like, I don't see them all the time. They're not like maybe around me, as much as like your inner circle or close family are. And that's really where a lot of those crazy internal conflicts will come from, like really the really hairy ones. But it is important, like, so that you don't, get taken advantage of. I mean, there's all kinds of ways of taking people take advantage of people, and sometimes people don't even know that they're doing it. Sometimes they've, it's there can be culpability all the way around in every bit of it. But yes, you definitely protect yourself because there are nefarious people out there, of course, that will just want to get what they can get. But um, those people are ones just to keep out as much as you can. But yeah, I like that, Christy. We teach people how to treat us by what we allow. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Fuck. That's a tough one, for like on both ends, like, mm, that's a deep one. Now, I'm definitely going to be, sitting on that one, sitting with that one. The Order of the Black Dragon. What's up? Do the best for yourself when you are alone so you can be able to handle other people. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And that's something too, that the therapy and the ketamine have had me in a deep state of contemplation. Um, going through this integration and really seeing like, you know, the things that I've done and how I've acted. It's, and the things that I like failed to come to terms with or face to face with that I was bearing down, that all of that was like just compounding and creating a monster that presents itself in so many fucked up ways that's really can be confusing for everyone. It can be confusing for everyone involved because like just because you might be acting crazy and lashing out sometimes doesn't necessarily mean you even know what the fuck you're doing. Like, you're just in reactionary mode. But, like, it's important that for me that I maintain control and composure so that I don't do that kind of shit. Because that's the last thing that I want to do, the last thing that I want to happen. Um, I don't want, I'm just at a point now where I don't want to act that way anymore. I don't. I didn't quite understand it or see it. And so I wasn't really able to even try to fix it because I was in denial of ever even acting in those ways. Right? Like, from my perspective, in most cases, like, with my family and all of that, and from back in the past and all that, like, I just was, putting all the blame on them and not really seeing what I did in it, and like looking at it from just a selfish perspective, looking at it from a flawed perspective, um, not taking the time to kind of like see how I contributed to it or how I may have contributed to it or what I could have done to fix or change things sooner, before letting them get to like a critical mass to where there is unpleasantness and so on and so forth. Um, it's been hard. It does get easy to run from things for a certain amount of time, but I have found that they will, like they always do, they're going to catch up with you and they're going to demand to be dealt with at some point or another. And I think that, like, and I feel really that, all of this, the whole thing, from being a toxic, nasty person to finally, realizing that kind of stuff and then trying to fix it and being willing to fix it, um, is like a big thing for me because I don't know that I could have ever really allowed myself to have the proper insight into it to even ever see it if I didn't have some assistance. I would have just totally been in denial of it and been like, no, no, it's everyone else. Absolutely 100%. It's everyone else. It's not me. What I did was just because of this and this, but no, like, still doesn't matter. It's not right. And I want to fix it. Friar Pestle says most people wander in ignorance to some level or another. I know I did. Yeah, man, I definitely been there. And I get it, like the journey of the heart and the mind and the soul is a very complex thing. It's very fragile, but it is extremely powerful in the ways that it can profoundly have profound effects on you, positive and negative, but just profound. It can cause profound bits of trauma that have to be, you know, dealt with. And like those things always do have to be dealt with at some point, I know. And like, I feel that like it is part of the spiritual path to go through these things to realize, it becoming the best version of yourself and knowing yourself is not an easy thing. And for me, like all of what I'm talking about here today is a big part of that. It may not be too magical as far as like I'm not in a circle and there's not incense and I'm not conjuring a spirit at the moment, but it's still very applicable and it matters a lot in the grand scheme of everything. Of when it comes down to knowing myself and to becoming the best version of myself. Like, was I, and have I been? No, fuck no. No. Trying, yes, trying very hard, maybe in a lot of the wrong ways, but I just didn't have the level of insight, not enough yet. I was still keeping my mind and my heart closed off to everything, you know, numbing myself out however I could so that I didn't have to deal with it. But really, it was like numbing out the pain of like anxiety and depression and not really taking the proper steps to really go in and find out where the root of that anxiety and depression is really coming from. It's just trying to tell me something, right? It's really just trying to give me a message of like, yo, 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 you've been carrying this shit around for too long, dog, and you gotta like let this crap go. Or if you don't, we're just going to keep reminding you every day of how painful it all is. And I just got to the point to where it got too goddamn painful to carry around anymore. And I'm ready to let it go. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Letting this anxiety go, letting this depression go by coming face to face with who I am, the things that I've done, the things that I have failed to do, shame, the guilt, the trauma, the toxicity, you know, of me being toxic as shit sometimes, like dealing with the reality of all of that and being willing to look at it and willing to try to my best to fix it. It's not an easy thing to do, you know. It's probably a lot easier to just continue to be toxic and just continue to, you know, just to numb out with whatever I can numb out with and just kind of keep on going down that road like a lot of people do. I get it. I know. I mean, you know, I have struggled with staying sober for most of my life and still today, you know, struggling with staying sober. You know, luckily, you know, alcohol is really the only thing now that has it on me like that. But that is powerful. It's just as powerful as the meth. It's just as powerful as the opiates were. It's just a different kind of thing, but it's just as much of a beast to deal with. And I've had to grapple with all three of these motherfuckers. So thank goodness I'm on the last one. There's no way I'm ever allowing myself to get addicted to anything ever again like that. I'm getting rid of these in 2024 too, but that's a whole nother thing. Oh, and the order of the Black Dragon says the north nodes and the south nodes are intense and affect major parts of the human psyche. Make sure to look into it. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Absolutely, as well. And I know too, it's like, you know, what I'm going through internally is no different than what the earth is going through right now on its own too. And I have noticed that like as we go through our own shifts internally, you'll see evidence around the globe of the earth going through the very same kind of cataclysmic upheavals, releasing things from within the earth, like with the earthquakes and things of that nature, like releasing tension, kind of like purging trauma. Like as all of those shifts take place within the earth, the shifts inevitably begin to take place within you in one way or another. And like for me, it's like I have definitely felt and heard the undeniable call of this and like know that like that like I have to really allow this healing. I have to allow it to happen. And I have to, you know, allow the earth and the ground to shake and ride out the storm and like keep on keeping on, like not falling into it, not giving up, not throwing in the towel and running back to alcohol or running back to drugs. Like, you know, it's time to go in the right direction, totally in the right way now, right? And that's Um, what's up? Zalo M. Last month I had return of knots in the natal position. I lost my mother. I was prepared because I had sensed it was a possibility. North Node in 8th Aries. Wow. I'm really sorry for your loss, man. Fuck. I know a lot of people are going through a lot of things right now. And I definitely send, my peace and blessings to you. Me and my people have been going through it too. Going through it, going through it, and going through it. It's been tough, but like we're making our way through it, trying to heal, focusing on what we need to focus on to do that. And I'm gonna keep doing that. Hope y'all keep doing it. I'm gonna jump off of here. Thanks to everybody that was here. This is like the best live stream that I've had in so fucking long, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate the super chats like crazy. Thanks everyone for that. But more importantly, thank you for your time and your attention here tonight. Thank you for listening to me ramble about a lot of craziness. Like I know I am a little all over the place right now, probably in the way that I'm trying to explain things, and it's because I have so much that's bubbling up to the surface all at once that I am having a hard time wrapping my head around it myself and then being able to then present it in a way that you can understand in the right way. You know what I mean? So thank you. Thank you. I love you all so much. And I will see you soon. I appreciate y'all's support. I appreciate you again just for being here. That is fucking awesome. And yeah, let's do some magic. Yeah, I'm planning on doing some tonight. If I'm not tonight, I got a lot that I need to do, a whole lot. If it's not, it's going to be tomorrow night. I'm gonna try tonight, but and I anticipate in another 2 weeks that I am going to be in a significantly better place mentally and emotionally. I may still be going through some of this integration with the ketamine. It's going to continue to bring things to the surface, but I'm hoping in 2 weeks that's really going to make a huge change. I already feel better. Like my overall sense of like just living life and doing the things that I need to do, it's like getting easier and I'm feeling better about it. And I'm like wanting to do it when it was like so hard before just to move. So it's great to have this little step up and a little assistance in that has been great. Oh, really? Thank you. I feel clearer, and this is the way that I need to stay. I was so stuck in a fog, so caught up in it all, and I guess trying to act like it wasn't happening. I mean, of course, y'all have seen me break down quite a few times, but I try to like do the best I can to hide it the rest of the time, you know? And so that makes me fake for doing that, then sorry. Because yes, I've tried to hide it as much as I can. And like, I might talk to you like this on the live stream and then get off of here and just be like, ugh, at times. And then everybody else I'm looking at, I'm just kind of like, And so I know that can make me come across as on here as being fake, but no, it's not. This is who I am as well. I just didn't. I find it very, it's. I don't think that you would want me coming on here every single time and just it being glaringly obvious how depressed I actually am sometimes, like that's not something that it's not being hidden because I'm trying to be fake. It's being hidden because I'm just trying to protect myself and trying to protect, myself from being hurt like by any kind of thing any more than I have been type of thing, like I don't know. Most of everything that I do resorts and revolves around the avoidance of being hurt or a reaction to being hurt or a reaction to the perception or perceived being hurt even. So you don't even really actually have to hurt me for me to perceive that you might have. That because like I said before, I take things very personally because I am so sensitive. I take things very personally, and then that tends to make me overreact to things that I maybe shouldn't even, that I shouldn't be reacting to like that anyway. That I should just be like, yo, hey, what is this? Da da da. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's not this crazy thing that it was conjuring up in my head because I was thinking that you were like blah 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 blah. Oh, okay. Well, cool. I like to jump to the gun and be like, hey, I already know what it is, and blah for that, When it's like, no, I'm sorry you took it that way, but that's not what it was. And I had a lot of that. I don't want to do that kind of shit anymore. So anyway, I'm gonna ramble on all night if I don't just cut it off at the root there. So we're gonna do that. Thank you again, everyone. Smell my face, smell it good. Catch you on the flip side. Thanks to everyone who is here. Love you all so very much. And everyone's ritual videos from the group workings on the Christmas and the first, I still got to send out. I got them all and everything. Just got to get them sent out to you. I'm working on that, working on getting all these rituals caught up. So good things coming to everyone. Thanks for working with me. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for looking out for me. We'll catch you on the flip side, and Martha will be starting her channel soon. We'll let you know on that, and she really is now going to do that, so that'll be really cool. She'll be doing a lot of story times and other cool things and magical shit and all kinds of shit. And yeah, so we'll see ya. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.